G'day viewers, I wanted to have at least a vaguely serious talk with you today.
Hello viewers, it's AZ. I'm going to do a vaguely serious talk with Angry.
Here's the topic that's come out. There's this idea that some people reckon people on the left refuse to be critical of Islam.
No, they don't.
And look, there is a little tendency, and it's more in some people than others, that if you don't like marginalised groups being fucked over, some people can make the mistake of pretending nobody in those marginalised groups ever does anything wrong.
That's not real.
No. And look, currently in the world, the biggest whipping horse is Muslims. But in the past, it's been gays, it's been black people, it's been anyone who wasn't the mainstream. And I have seen people try to hedge around the fact like, look, sure, maybe that guy, held up 20 service stations and punched old ladies, but you've got to acknowledge that he was from the underclass. It's also that he was a violent fucking thug.
Yes, and like punching up little ladies and taking their shit when he maybe should have got a job and was going to be paid more.
Yeah.
If you ever get bloody punched up in the street, fight back, because the moment it's like work, they stop doing it.
Now, with a great big asterisk, if you're the unlucky one who gets the strung out junkie who will bite you to death, not our fault, okay?
Yeah.
We refuse to accept responsibility for that turning out badly for you.
I mean, it's already turned out badly. You got a punch in the head.
Yeah.
You might as well give them a couple back.
Yeah.
If they've got a weapon, maybe reassess.
Yeah, weapons aren't good. We're slightly off topic. Anyway, people say, oh, you won't criticise Islam. Look, the fact that I fucking hate right-wing bigots who spout mindless shit and tell lies about Muslims doesn't mean that I automatically think Muslims are universally good or the religion Islam is great. I think it's a stupid fucking religion.
Is assholes everywhere.
Yeah.
And, just because you're Muslim doesn't mean you're immune from assholery.
No, and it's at least as stupid as any other religion. I've got no time for any religion, and particularly when I really arc up with any religion is when it tries to impose the internal views on the external world or inflicts some terrible punishment on someone just because they disagreed with the internal view. Like fucking Saudi Arabia. I've said this a heap of times. We should have nothing to do with Saudi Arabia until they stop the shit they pull all the time. With fucking death sentences just for saying, I don't think I believe in God. Not letting women do anything. This is all bullshit. And we should have nothing to do. We should use diplomatic pressure to stop them. But Saudi Arabia has all the fucking oil. Has the influence over that entire part of the world. So slimy, spineless governments go, oh no, maybe they should be on the Human Rights Council. That'd be good. Yeah, they should be on the Human Rights Council.
Or not.
No, fuck Saudi Arabia. Fuck anyone who defends punishing someone on religious grounds. And yes, it does get a lot of the media coverage, more so there's like, well, you can point to these various Muslim-controlled countries that have really repressive laws. Now, often these get blown out of proportion, but there is no questioning. Like I said, the stonings, and sometimes for just bizarrely mundane things. Like if you ever see a reference to apostasy, however you might choose to pronounce it, that's literally just saying, I don't want to be part of your religion. You can be fucking killed just for saying, I don't want to be part of your religion.
In the old days, you could be killed for saying, I don't want to be part of your sexuality, right? And you get gay bashed to death quite happily. But this is like an en masse thing that's basically understood by law. I don't want to be part of Islam. Well, mate, you get to die.
And that's fucked. And when we talk about the coverings that the majority of Muslim women wear, which is anywhere from a veil through to the full-on, I'm wearing just a black tent with a tiny eye slit in it. And I think those things are kind of stupid. The idea that I want to be modest. But I know a lot of strong, independent Muslim women who would punch the fuck out of me if I told them they weren't allowed to wear it.
Exactly.
See, this is the thing. Choice. And there are definitely cases of women, and this not just in places like Saudi Arabia, this does happen in Australia. This does happen in Europe and America. Women who through violence are threatened, you have to wear this all the time. And that's bullshit. And anybody who does that and anybody who excuses that should be in fucking jail. Fuck them. That is absolutely inexcusable. No grey area at all. Women can choose. They may see, as part of the religion, I want this degree of modesty. This is how I want to be. That's fine. The idea of saying, ban the burqa is dumb as shit.
Fucking ridiculous.
But also enforcing it, particularly with violence. No, anyone who does that should be in fucking jail. And, oh look, another one that comes up. Remember the whole Muhammad cartoon thing, a big shit stir. I am a believer. You can shit stir anyone you want, whenever you want. You kind of need to take responsibility for if, as a result, everyone thinks you garbage. That's not a suppression of your free speech. It's just everyone looking at you and going,
You're
that
dick.
That
You're
whole
a dick,
defending
they
raping
say.
kids things? No, fuck that. But the making fun of the prophet, I think you should absolutely be allowed to. I think people should also point out when I think you're actually only doing that because you are a bigoted piece of shit.
Ah.
And I think you should be called out for that. But the idea of being threatened with violence and death, that's bullshit. Now, when this came up a few years ago, I had a very interesting back and forth with a young lad from the western suburbs of Melbourne. He was Muslim and he was very against the Muhammad cartoons. And he explained to me really rationally, he said, look, that actually ties in with our anti-idolatry laws within the religion. There should be no representations of God or the prophet because you're worshipping idols then, not doing the real religion. And look, that's ace. You know, if the Catholic Church, who are always accused of being idolaters, if they spent less fucking money on the gold and the churches and the statues and stuff, I'd be happy. And if they use that money to help people, that would be better. But
And their current Pope is sort of making that happen.
he's having a little go at it. But see, this thing, when you cross the line through to internally in our religion, this is what we think is a positive way to behave, through to externally, I'm going to force you to coincide with this too. That's bullshit. That's fucking unacceptable. I do actually believe in the whole free speech thing. You should be able to do an insulting Muhammad cartoon. It's just everyone else should also be free to point out whether you're actually doing that from a good place or just because you're a bigoted piece of shit. But saying people can't, no, that's unacceptable. That's the thing. Internally, have your own rules. See, and I live in a really orthodox Jewish part of Melbourne. And a lot of people who are always going, oh, Muslims, they actually don't realise that basically the same tenets exist in a lot of other religions. The really orthodox Jewish people are here. The women dress modestly, which means sort of frumpishly and out of fashion. The extreme ones, they can't have their hair exposed in public, which has led, and this is a complete side note, we're not talking about Muslims anymore, but this is one of my favourite examples of following the letter of the law, but not the spirit, which always cracks me up. As soon as someone tries to do an end game around their religious law, I think, what are you doing? Are you smarter than God? Is that what you're saying?
There is that question, isn't it?
Because I see this thing happen with some people. The women who aren't supposed to have their hair exposed in public, they wear a wig.
They shave their hair, right? And then they wear a wig. And the wigs are as pretty as they can get them.
Well, that's with some of them. But with some of the other really conservative ones, they deliberately wear ugly, shitty wigs. So it's obvious they're wearing a wig.
Oh,
and
to show off.
And it's like, what are you doing? Like, wear a headscarf, like either or a nun or something. But actually having hair that's not yours, okay, I get that technically you're following the law. But I think, you're kind of lucky that your God doesn't exist because he'd get pissed off. Honestly, if I was a being of supreme omnipotence and some fucking talking monkey thought they were smarter than me, I'd be like, really? You think I'm not noticing what you're doing there?
And I don't know if you've read it, but the first part of that book, right, has that God doing some fairly wholesale damage.
Yeah, it's like, really, I told you, stay away from that tree. Oh, you didn't? I'm going to fuck up you and your descendants for eternity. Okay? This guy doesn't take things lightly.
No, he's got a case of the serious pills. He doesn't take shit giving at all.
So I kind of think this trying to run an end game around the laws isn't going to work in your favour, so you're kind of lucky it's not real, that your magic man in the sky doesn't actually exist. So,
Oh, I don't know.
which one do you think's up there?
Flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, or or as the saying goes, Odin promised no frost giants. I don't see any frost giants.
I don't see any frost giants either.
Yeah, so we've gone way off beat. But the
I
whole
see
thing,
a few one-eyed men
Yes.
making pictures of the prophet. Bastards.
yes, but it's like if people are upset because we're atheists and saying your religion is stupid and made up and not real. That's cool. Be upset. But once you start making threats, and while, as again, the Muslims get all the publicity for doing this, but they are no way the only ones doing it. There are some parts of the States, if someone with a gun and a Bible thinks you've done something against the Bible, that's going to go against you. There are, and the one that always bugs me is people go, Buddhists are really peaceful.
No.
No. You go into a search engine and type Buddhist Taliban, because there are these fucking hardcore Buddhists in parts of Southeast Asia who are fucking killing anyone who's not them, okay?
Yep.
So it's a religion problem generally. So yes, to circle back to our central point, the idea that raving lefties won't criticise Islam, that isn't real, and the fact that we single out obnoxious, lying, bigoted sacks of shit doesn't mean that we think Islam or any other religion is shiny and pure. Of course, fucking hideous things get done in the name of Islam all the time. And I'll step right up and say, no, you can't treat women like that. No, you can't treat other religions like that. You can't treat other cultures like that. That's fucked. If you won't let other people just get on with their lives, then, shit's gonna end up happening. So, yes, we do criticise Islam. And we haven't gone all Salman Rushdie, so I don't think we're going to have to go into hiding after this. But honestly,
And where would you hide me? I'm only just recently out of the closet, and I came out doing a Diana Summers number. I am what I am. I want to be the one of the people.
I'll just warn you now, right? Anyone who thinks they're going to do something to AZ, he is particularly skilled at making people feel very uncomfortable. So you might be coming to enforce your religious purity on AZ.
True.
You will regret it really quickly, is what I'm saying. So save yourself the trouble. Stay inside your own little world. I'm all for, look, wonderful people are very religious. Wonderful things are done in the name of religion. And you can do that. Be a good example. Be and show the people from your religion are super awesome and do great things for other people. And I'd have no complaint with that. It's when you say, because of my religion, I'm going to fuck you over because you don't conform to a thing that my magic man in the sky said, go fuck yourself.